My camera. How about them Giants? How about them Giants? How about them Giants?
Woo! What's happening, people? That's Spartan Mike. I'm King Rush. Welcome to another episode of Giants Rush. And what we do here, Mike, every single week we talk about Giants football. And, you know, I was here talking some football yesterday. This is definitely not the brand of football that I thought was going to be rolled out. But welcome. If you're new to the show, we're here every Monday at 7:30. Got a whole bunch of people hanging out today because they want to talk football. What's up, Brad? What's up, Daniel? Yes, we're not normally here on Tuesdays. We're usually here on Mondays. We're basically pulling everybody in because it's like a funeral, right, Mike?
That's it. It's like a funeral. Been hoping something would change here for quite some time, and it just doesn't happen. Yeah.
So last night I kind of ran it up a little bit. What's up, Cold? Good to see you. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Again, we're here every Monday at 7:30. Tonight's a little special edition. I got Truth here. I got Sean back. Spartan's hanging out for a little bit. Spartan, if you got a jam or you got to go, let me know. Let's bring it. Let's do this. It's always fun to have this guy in the building.
Who can't handle the truth?
Boom, there he is. What's up, Mike?
Hey, little gentlemen. Not a pleasant day talking about the Giants, but it's good to see everybody.
Mike, here's the thing, or actually, Truth, because we have two mics on the show here. Truth, here's the thing. It's the same thing we've been talking about for 12 years. So it's not only is it not a good day, it feels like Groundhog Day, if you ask me.
Absolutely. And I understand the frustration. You know, some people are saying it's just one game, but this is a culmination of 3 years under the Dable Shane regime. You know, 3 straight opening day pitiful performances. First Dallas, then Minnesota, now against Washington. And it's like getting a touchdown seems like a hard thing to do with this team. It's amazing.
Yeah. So let's bring in the guy that was at the game because Sean actually went to the game. But you know what? He got to spend some QT with his family, which is always worth its weight. So let's bring in.
Miss the fireworks.
There won't be any fireworks.
And here we go.
Yo.
So let me tell you, I got a couple of things. Number one, there is going to be fireworks tonight because, as you said, I was live at the game and I had to hold a lot of things in because I was with my little nephew who's like 10 or 11 years old. So I couldn't do and react the way I wanted to. I'm dressed in all black. You guys mentioned a funeral before. I'm dressed in black because it is a funeral and I'm going to let some people have it tonight. So, yeah, I'm in mourning over that, what I witnessed live and in person, Craig. That's all I got a lot to say.
I was so I went live for about 45 minutes yesterday because I knew you guys would be coming on today. So I went and ranted a little bit. I wore all black yesterday. And I started the show off just like this gentleman, the same way. I'm just disappointed in the brand of football that I saw yesterday. My expectations were that we were going to be competitive, and that didn't happen. And on multi-levels, which we're going to dig into, right? Nobody's good. The offensive line was terrible. The quarterback was terrible. The defense was terrible. Coordinators were terrible. Where was the smash mouth defense? Didn't show up. Where were we in the red zone? Non-existent again. So there are some things but we'll definitely, we're going to start off the way we always do. Sean, we're going to definitely start off with
studs to duds.
That's right.
Very hard to find the stud in the room. Spartan, if you had to find one, Who's your stud of the game? And by the way, as we said, the Giants lose, in a fashion where we all went into the game thinking that there was an opportunity to win the game. There's new revamped defense, new quarterback in the room. So when you're looking for a stud, Mike, Spartan, it might be someone that just didn't get beat all day. I don't know if we can really find a pure stud.
I'm gonna probably go with Burns, just because he had a couple sacks there. Thought of anybody that showed up. I mean, I guess him, but again, I'm kind of with you. Even though you're 2 sacks, it is a good game. Just pathetic performance, pathetic team culture. We got a lot of problems, so I'm just not that excited about it.
Truth. If you had to find, Mr. Stewart, if you had to find a stud, and a stud in this environment could be anyone that just maybe held their own, or maybe you thought someone actually played well.
Well, I know Sean is going to pick this guy. I apologize, Sean, for picking him, but I feel the same way. It's Abdul Carter. He had limited snaps, 38, which really bothered me, and but he really showed a lot of passion. He showed that he cared, and he even looked like he was upset a few times when they were going to take him out. The kid wants to play, and they got to let the kid play, right? You can't baby him. Let him play. He's a first round pick, 3rd overall pick, and he's not just a regular player. He's special.
I like it. I probably would have said the same thing or close to it. Sean, if you're looking for, the stud, if there is one, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Carter. True said it. That's what I'm going with, and for a couple of reasons that weren't mentioned already. Number one, he got his hand on a punt, blocked the punt when he was on special teams. Number two, that play at the end of the half where he rushed Daniels, but then got his hand up and forced that grounding penalty, which ended the half. That 10-second rough. Intelligent play, smart play, high IQ play. People are like, oh, he wasn't going after him fast. Yeah, no, he knew what he was doing. He knew exactly what he was doing, and just what he did throughout the day. And I love, like True said, the fact that he got angry. He was coming out the field. We'll talk about it later too. But yeah, Carter easily, again, blocking the punt on special teams. I think he had half a sack, and then the pressures he had the highest pressure rate on the defensive side. And again, that play before the half that's a high IQ play right there.
Give a shout out to Daniel, Brad, Cold's in the room. Lopez, I think, was here with me last night. He's back. Brad says here, you and I had to suffer in the 90s, but this seems worse, and I can't imagine how the 70s were worse. It's all true. It's all true. It is just pathetic once again. I'm going to be positive and say, yeah, okay, it's game 1, but there's some massive issues that I just didn't see coming. So let's continue on with the duds. Right? I gave a lot of my opinions yesterday. You could always go to the YouTube channel and check that out if you guys want to see me rant for 45 straight minutes. I did that yesterday. I'll start with you going back down the ladder, Sean. Who's the biggest absolute dud from this past Sunday? Because, by the way, I don't even know how you name one, because there's like 6 of them that all can wear dud of the game.
Well, I'm going a non-player route. I'm giving it to Mike Kafka, and for a few reasons. Number one, you have a week and a half, 2 weeks of prayer, or however many weeks you had to prepare for opening game, and the first play you come out with is Russ under center and a standard run play. Like, everybody in this stadium didn't know what was about to happen on the first play. Secondly, you get in the red zone, and the first play you have in the red zone is a tackle eligible to our rookie offensive lineman, where everybody on the defense knew it was coming because guys were pointing. The way Bo made himself eligible, like, the whole defense knew what was coming. That's the best you come up with for the first red zone play? Come on, man. Come on. And then the play calling. There was zero rhyme or reason to anything he was calling. There was no plays that set something else up. It was like he was calling plays just to call plays. How, like, 13 trips in the red zone, and you come away with 6 points. Right. And you had three. You had 5 or 6 plays that were inside the 3-yard line, and you can't get 3 yards. Come on, man. Come on. There's my dud of the game right there.
Yeah, and it's perfectly said, because there was like way too many head scratchers in that game, and I'm like, this is not starting off well. I do want to say one thing that I failed to say is I was going to give my stud out to Wandale. It was again, not didn't have a lot of stats, but the plays he made were important. So I know I'm always beating up on him, but I just thought, if there was an opportunity to make a play, he was going to make the play. What his stats were: 8 targets, 6 receptions, 55 yards, 20 longest catch of the day. That's a pretty good day for him. You know what I mean? Like, when he's primarily an underneath route kind of guy, he took some big hits, right? So, got to give some shout out, to Wandale.
Yeah, that's 102 receptions for the year if he does that every day.
Yeah. So, and me, I'm not big into the small receivers and stuff like that. But I'm, I can't say anything past the guy came to play and he made plays. Spartan dud, does one stick out for you that just pops off the page?
I mean, I'm going to probably give it to the entire offensive line. I don't care that Andrew Thomas is out. Teams lose their top linemen. It happens. They don't look that dysfunctional. And when Andrew Thomas comes back, they're still going to look dysfunctional. That was putrid what I saw yesterday. And I never know what it is. I had a viral tweet. I don't know if you guys saw it, but got reposted up in Barstool, almost 10,000 likes. Not to brag. I wish we came away from the game winning. I didn't have a viral tweet about how crappy the offensive line was, but it's the culmination of 12 years and nothing ever works. Sign a guy, flop. Draft a dude, bust. Let a guy walk, he's going to another team and he's doing pretty well. We can never figure it out with the offensive line, and it always looks absolutely atrocious and never just looks middle of the pack. And I can't explain that.
Yep. I said yesterday very loud and very clearly, if you watch that game, rewatch that game, 2 things stick out at me on that offensive line. One is the Commanders' defensive line was so much faster. They were off the ball before the Giants could even get out of their stance. And everything was a slant. They were in the A gap. Wasn't shooting his own A gap. They were coming across the center space into the other A gap. They were slanting right across their face masks, beating them to the hole, making them look bad. GVR, all I saw was 74, whatever, like the back of his jersey all day long. Like JMS, no anchor whatsoever. Like, so it's either that the talent isn't there or the blocking schemes aren't there, because there was no adjustments. They had their way with the Giants offensive line. Yeah, 100%, Gino. We talked about this yesterday, right? Just everything about the scheme looked bad. Like, they were literally busting through into the backfield in seconds. Nothing was straight ahead. Everything was slanting across your face. They had leveraged the entire game, really made, them look bad. Hudson looked like a disgrace, like he had never played football before in his life. Overmatched at every play. His pad level's too high. Illuminor, who we all really like, even Illuminor was in the backfield catching blocks instead of being dominant and stepping into the play, right, and being nasty. Guys catching blocks. Commanders' defensive line had their way. No one on that offensive line was good. I'm not even sure anybody on that offensive line is good. So, I'm right with you. Truth, did you have one that stuck out, Truth? Like one absolute dud?
Well, yeah, I mean, all you guys covered a lot of good points, but I mean, you got to go with the quarterback. I mean, I don't. I mean, I'm not a fan of Russell Wilson anymore. I don't think. I think he's beyond. You know, I understand why they got him. You know, they have to have a bridge for Dart, and but he did not look good at all to me at all.
Good segue. He did not look. He did not look good. Threw a lot of balls just up in the air. Hoping nobody would intercept them. I know we didn't have a lot of time, so that definitely came into play. But no, I didn't think he saw the field really well. But again, as Sean said, the play calling sucked too. So there's a combination of things going on here, gentlemen. And if we're just going to, go ahead.
I was just saying, like, you got a quarterback who throws the deep ball well, and there wasn't that many deep passes. Makes zero sense to me. Like 0 sense. So he couldn't get a rhythm with a couple of the deep passes he threw because there wasn't that many. And when he needed to throw them, he was off rhythm a little bit. 0 sense. Now, I will give credit to Washington's D-line because Kinlaw and Payne surprised a lot of people with how fast they were at their size. So I do got to give some credit to those two guys. I don't think the Giants were prepared, and I don't think that's anybody's fault. I think because I saw some tweets going out by a lot of people who were saying that nobody thought that Kinlaw and Payne were going to be that fast and moving that fast, and they did at that size. So I'll give a little credit to them.
And everyone in the chat is spot on everything. I mean, Cole's got the Lions not very athletic. Play calling didn't help them, right? Because that's the other thing. When when you're getting beat like a drum, where was the help? I mean, a really good coach is lining up the tight end, getting nasty in there, going to a 5 personnel. Change something.
There was like, how many running back screenplays did we see in the preseason? Not one running back screenplay. Not one. That's fireable right there. Fireable right there. They're getting pressure all day long, and you don't run one running back screen pass. Unbelievable.
Mark says, thought Hudson was supposed to be nasty and mean. Nasty and mean, yeah. Well, none of that happened because he didn't get an opportunity to be nasty or mean because they were blowing by him. Like he was non-existent. Like there was nothing in his game that was good yesterday. Jermaine, who's been quiet on X, usually talking a lot. Yeah, he's quiet. They looked terrible as a unit. Great point by Ray. They knew AT was recovering and they never signed an O-lineman in the offseason. Well, they did sign Hudson, right? But just not the right guy. You need a guy that's going to be tough and mean and can play through pain and actually do the job. These guys are overmatched all the time. We thought that this was going to be something different. And my biggest issue, guys, and Spartan, is that, like, we knew the O-line, as Cole was saying, isn't overly athletic. So why don't we work with what we have? Well, Spartan, we went at that game like we had a very athletic offensive line and we were going to blow people off the ball. Like, that's just not the case on what we have.
We haven't had really in a while. I haven't seen a Giants offense that kind of prepares for certain situations. To your point, they're not playing to the ability of their players. They also don't really play to the, what the defense is doing. If you're getting rushed up the middle, then screen passes are your friend. Outside routes are your friend. I saw the Vikings do it the other night. Blitz up the middle. Well, then you get it to the running back on the outside, and they'll take it up the sidelines. We don't have that. It's kind of like if, we just – there's no rhythm and tempo. There's no out-coaching. There's no combating. It's like they're pulling plays as if we're playing Madden. That's what it feels like.
You know what's funny? We have 2 running backs who are – one was an ex-receiver and one's an excellent receiver in Skidmore. But like you said, we didn't even use them in the receiving department. Like you said, a screen or a little flare out.
Yeah, that's what teams doing. That's what they're supposed to do when they're getting blitzed, even if they have a bad offensive line.
That's how you slow the blitz down. That's right.
Let's take it a step further, guys. There's no situational football. There's absolutely no situational football. Like, there's a situation where our line's getting beat up. What do? You immediately 101 says go to the screen game, right? Your line's getting beat up. Bring in the tight end and run power football. They don't do that. Like, there's just no adjustments on that line. There wasn't like we and I agree that all our patience is basically running thin with Andrew Thomas. Okay, the guy has not played any football, guys. Yes, he's a nice lineman and he's potentially a Pro Bowler lineman, but he's not played any football in 3 years. What has he actually played? He's consistently hurt and unreliable. First round draft pick in 2026 better be a left tackle.
And then we'll just blow that one anyway, like all of our offensive line picks.
But here's
at this point, put
premium capital.
The first
Put
two
Marcus
picks going to be offensive lineman, Craig.
Yeah.
Put Marcus Bowen at this point. Put Marcus Bowen at tackle. He did well in the preseason. I know it's preseason, but he put him in, develop him, let him do what he can do. Let's see what he can do. Because I don't want to see James Hudson there again. I don't.
No,
he'll probably do it.
It's
got to be Marcus Bowen at this point.
Cannot happen.
Hey guys, by the way, I got to roll on out here, so appreciate stopping by. I know I'm going to
It's fine. Thanks.
Yeah, always a pleasure, Spartan. We'll catch up, buddy. Thanks. So my biggest issue is, like, from an offensive standpoint is, the situational football, like we just talked about. Man, you could have ran screens. You could have brought in 2 tight ends. You could have done something to help out guys that were struggling, and they don't. And they should be smarter by now. They should, the regime has been there long enough. It's just they need to be able to pivot during the game. Now, a couple things did also happen, right? Wilson didn't look very sharp. He started getting hit.
Yeah, he was responsible for some of the sacks, some of the pressure, eyes down. He was quick to get out of the pocket for sure. So it was a culmination of everybody. Like, I'm just so listen, you guys gave me a hard time last year when I said Dabo was a good play caller. And I tell you what, he ran screens last year. He did the things he needed to do. I don't know. I'm going to sound like a broken record, but Kafka on the sideline, how do you not have a feel for the game? You're literally on the sideline watching it, literally seeing close up what can happen. And how many times can I say it? Not one running back screen pass, nothing that made sense. Nothing. They tried to run a tight end screen, a wide receiver screen. Like, dude, this isn't Kansas City. You don't have Patrick Mahomes. Like, let's run some stuff that makes sense for what we have. I don't understand it. Somebody help me understand it. Because I took heat about Kafka, and I hope he proves me wrong, because we need him to prove me wrong. But I was proven very much right on Sunday.
What was the stadium and the atmosphere like from when you walked in the building to when you left?
Oh, man, listen, Giants fans were, I was in tailgating. I sent you some videos, sent some pictures of the whole experience. Like, Giants fans are amped and pumped up. There was a lot of excitement that was going on about that game. We get in the stadium, and they were pumped up in the stadium too. After the game, we were all deflated and angry. And the worst part is we got to hear the Commanders fans chanting and doing things and no TDs today and all this other stuff. And there's nothing we can say because they're absolutely right. We were pathetic out there. Absolutely pathetic. And we're going to get to it at some point, and Truth brought it up and I've said it, I said it after the game repeatedly on Twitter. Like, how do you have your number 3 pick only playing 35 snaps or 38 snaps, whatever it was? Like, how does that happen? How do you let that happen? That's fireable right there. That's fireable.
We'll get to the defense in a second because, I want to make sure we spend enough time covering over the offense. I mean, we did have, Slayton on a deep route that got face masked that didn't get called. We didn't have, I think at some point, I don't know why Dable handed over the play calling to Kafka.
Because of John Mara. John Mara made the comments last season. Yeah. John Mara literally said. So if anybody doesn't think that John Mara has an influence over what goes on here, and I'm not saying anybody on this crew, but fans, absolutely. Look at all the things that happened that he said that it comes true. It's the same thing every year. We talk about 12 years of the same thing, Craig.
Yeah.
There's 3 people who have been here for those 12 years that people don't talk enough about. John Mara, Tim McDonald, Chris Mara, and, well, I'll give 4, and Kevin Abrams. And you wonder why things haven't changed for 12 years. Sorry to interject, but I'm fired up.
No, it's fine. I mean, if Dable doesn't want to get fired, I don't know why he would be listening to scuttlebutt or whatever you want to call it, like, rumor through the building, or I don't know why anybody that's potentially going to lose their job would be worried about what the owner said about who calls plays, because the owner don't know crap about calling plays.
Because he probably said it to him. He probably said to him, like, look, you're going to get this time. I want you to do it. Like, we know, he said they had conversations all off season.
Wait a minute.
About things.
Time out. You hung out with Peace?
I did. I got to meet Chris Peace. It was great dude. Great dude. He was very kind to my nephew. I brought my nephew over to meet him. Peace was a cool dude. Yeah, so it was good to meet him.
Bang. Oh, I wanted a picture of you in Peace. That would have been awesome. We could have.
I took a picture, but it was a little blurry. I posted it on Twitter, but I couldn't see because of the sun coming in, so I didn't realize the filter I had set up. So it was a little blurry, but I did post a picture on Twitter saying we
all
we
good.
met.
Appreciate you, Chris. Peace always. Well, look, we could. There is a lot of things with the offense that's wrong. There's a lot of things that we've talked about. Like I said, it's not the brand of football I thought we were going to go out there and throw in the ball. I mean, we were talking about studs to duds. I mean, Scatterboo does look like he's the real deal. I mean, he was popping dudes, knocking guys over, took 3 guys to take him down. Like, he's gonna be a nice addition.
Yes.
I don't know about you guys, but I mean, the Theo Johnson thing, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, they're just guys that aren't big time game players.
That was the rap on him coming out of college. Great athlete, but can he translate that on the football field?
Yep.
That was the biggest thing on him.
And truth, it's just like, again, there are guys that are practice players or they look a certain way, and then you just grant them jobs. Like there are just things that the Giants need to make decisions on. Like, one is, I don't care what you did with James Hudson. He's soft and he can't play, right? But we've seen Bo have success. Sorry, let's not wait till we're 0-5 to make a change. Get Bo in the game now. Sorry, all you Penn State loving people. Put Bellinger in the game. He doesn't drop the ball, okay? And he's not bad for yak, okay? Like, we just deemed Theo because of what Theo looks like and how I remember clearly them saying, how underrated he was, Truth, right? Because they didn't throw the ball to him a lot. Maybe, Truth. Maybe they knew something that we didn't know. And that is that he can't catch the ball on a regular, routine,
His radius his radius. I think that's what it is.
Yeah. So maybe Penn State, and that's why I was saying, like, look, can we just, from an offensive perspective, can we just do what works? The fans don't know everything, but we know something. We know that Theo drops a lot of balls. He can't make a lot of catches. We know that James Hudson can't block. It's right on tape. We know JMS is not the answer. So, like, I don't want to wait till they're 0-4 before they move GVR over to center. Because that was a winnable game, and that offense was putrid. Now, the Wilson thing, I don't know what to make of that, Sean. I don't know what to make of that, Sean, because I don't know what it would look like if the line played better, if the play calling was coming from Dabes. I just don't know. But what I do know is that we need to make adjustments. We can't wait till it's the 5th game of the year to make an adjustment.
Yeah, we can't. And we can't. There's got to be adjustments coming against Dallas because we'll get run off the field. Again, Dallas is another winnable game, or was a winnable game. They don't have the pass rush. They don't have the things they had. The offense is good. But I will say, I mean, we'll get to defense, as some I mentioned, but they just got, and Theo had a nice catch later on, but then it gets called back. Like, we can't just have good things and Belly good. So yes, let's have Bellinger. Let's have Theo out there. Let's have him doing some things or utilize, figure out a way to utilize the talent that you have better. Like again, it makes zero sense to me.
Look,
Zero.
I'm throwing this up here because that's the theme. Okay, so it didn't start off well. Where is the in-game adjustments? We're just really a crappy team at it. So I don't care if Dable calls the plays. Truth, do you care if Dable calls the plays?
No, I prefer he does. I prefer he does.
Yeah.
I really do. You know, when Dable came to the Giants, they raved about how well Cole just talked about that in-game adjustments. They raved about Dable's with that. But you know, he showed signs of it his first year. Remember that game in Tennessee? The first game he made adjustments. Second half, it just seems like that's gone. He's lost it. You know, you don't see that anymore with the Giants.
Yeah, and again, I mentioned this earlier. Colt and I are on the same page. Like, if you're fighting for your job, man, you want to call your own plays. You got to make in-game adjustments. You got to make changes. We can't be blaming Daniel Jones on anything. Daniel Jones is throwing touchdown passes in Indianapolis, and we're sitting here looking like the same team. Now, this isn't really about Jones. This is more about in-game adjustments that, you know, we're leaving plays on the field. Something I learned, yeah, Shane has a lot of input, Chris. Yes, he does. Not just Dable, 100%. But those guys are lock and step. I don't think they do anything like opposite of each other. So, you know, hey, Milan, welcome. I think I missed Mark B. What's up, Mark B.? Couple of you guys jumping in here late, so want to make sure I give you guys all a shout out. Raymond, what's up? But so yeah, without a doubt, the offensive line overall just was outmatched. I can't believe how fast they were. If you get a chance, check out Baldinger's breakdown of the game because it's literally eye-opening. Oh, thank you, Milan, for that super sticker. Appreciate that. We're already in mid-season form. You know what it is, Milan? Like here's the thing. There wasn't anything like what we saw in preseason and with all these, you know, special players that we potentially have. We just didn't see anything, right? And just we wanted a little bit. You could still lose the game, but have some exciting plays, right? Like nobody did nothing. A handful of catches from Neighbors, nothing out of Tracy. Really nothing out of Scadaboo. So we really just, you know, the fans are just tired of losing winnable games. And when you look at the line is just not able to handle good teams, right? They're just not. I don't know how else we get around it, right?
We got to make some change, and they're not going to make any changes to the O-line, is what they said. They're not anticipating any change in the line. Your guards looked as bad as they did. James Hudson looked as bad as they did, and you're not going to make any changes? Like, fine, if you don't want to call guys out in the press, fine, but let's see if they actually make changes because some changes should be made. Absolutely, some changes need to be made on the O-line.
Yeah, 100%. All right, so let's shift off to something different because, you know, I look, a lot of things went wrong, but we can rag on it because
It's good to be the king.
it is, because I can say anything I want, but the good thing about today is I think everybody agrees, right? That was a winnable game, and here's where it gets super interesting, Truth. Ready, Truth? The optimist, which I always love, got to have a couple of those in society, want to say we only lost 21-6. Truth, if Jaden Daniels had any accuracy at all under any circumstances, the Giants lose by 24 because that cat could not hit the broadside of a barn yesterday. And Truth, if that guy could be, you know, a little bit more accurate, you're staring up at a 34-6 game. Would you agree? Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mentioned that penalties that Washington got against them when they made big plays. It could have been worse. The scoring could have been worse, but you know, the Giants' offense. I mean, Washington could have scored 10 points; it wouldn't have mattered.
Yep.
You know. It seems like if you're trailing by 10 points, as a Giant fan, that's a lot. That's like trailing by 30 points. That's what it feels like when you're a Giant fan.
Yep.
Yeah. I you know, so it started off like, you know, I'm listening to the rationale and like about how the defense only let up 21 points. Okay, dude, again, that guy makes four of those completions, and you're losing by a lot more. So let's not get crazy on how great the defense played. Second,
No.
Exactly. No.
They played well enough. They played well enough for us to win. They played well enough for us to win. Now, listen, a couple of those passes were because of pressure, like that deep ball to McLaren that was overthrown. He had a guy in his face, so he had to throw it early, so he overthrew him. You can't count that as like, oh, if he had a better throw. Now, again, I'm not saying they played great, but they did play well enough to win. They did play well enough to win.
I'll agree to disagree there, because like you got plays that got called back. By the way, I looked at the pictures. It looks like you had some good seats. How's the seating? I've never been to that stadium. Is it like one of those stadiums where every seat's a good seat, or what?
Yeah, it was. We were up in the 400 section, and I was literally right behind the Giants bench, so I could. We were midfield, so I could see everything. I had a great view of everything. So even though I was in the 400 section, I could see everything real clear. I had a great vantage point to see what I needed to see.
And what was the tailgating experience like? Like it looked like by the pictures you showed me, there was a ton of Giant fans there. Is it like hostile, non-hostile? What's the atmosphere like?
Actually, the Commanders fans were pretty friendly. I'm not gonna, they razzed and said what you would expect to say, but they were pretty friendly. No problems with the tailgating. I had fun. We did some of our own tailgating, and we did some cornhole with my little nephew. We were throwing the football around. There was a Commanders group that was not far from us that had some good music going. So it was a good time. It was a good experience. I will say that until the game, until the game happened. But tailgating was a fun time.
All right, let's get into the defense. All right, let's get into the defense. I wish I had like some kind of
you can't rant though. You ranted for like 45 minutes last night, and I'm sure it was all about the defense because I was on a plane, so I couldn't watch.
No,
so I'm sure majority was the defense. So.
I spent a little bit. I appreciate you, reminding me of my consistency, but I did spend a lot of time on both sides of the ball. Let's start off with this. Yes, we start again. The Jaden Daniels thing bothered me because I thought, again, if he was a little bit more accurate, the game would have been very different. Very first thing that just kills us is Micah McFadden goes down. And as if you don't know, Micah McFadden has a foot injury, and he will be getting surgery. He will be missing a good substantial part of this season. So for all you tool bags out there that are saying that you don't like McFadden, we've told you time and time again that, it's not an easy position to play. But again, he's had back-to-back 100 tackle seasons, first time in 18 years it's been done. The minute he's out, his backup is a mess. That cat was, whether he was nervous or what, Musau was a mess. All right. So all of a sudden, you got two things happening. Dexter Lawrence is nowhere to be found. Maybe he is having a baby, so maybe his mind's a little bit somewhere else. And since he's one of the best defensive players in the league, you give him a pass, right? He's not always going to be the best, player on the field every week. But Dexter's nowhere to be found, and Musau is terrible. I know, Sean, we've talked about it before, but when now all of a sudden McFadden's not there, you realize how much you miss McFadden. And doubling down, Okereke had 16 tackles.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. I know we talk a lot with the tackles, but his tackles are too far behind the line of scrimmage. And what he's doing, he looks slow too. Okereke did not play. Our middle linebacker, and I said this during the preseason, our linebackers do not look good. They do not look good. They run into blocks instead of trying to shed blocks. They try to blow up box. They do the things. So yes, I know Okereke had 16 tackles, but from where I was, like, he looks slow out there. So I'm hoping he's still recovering from his injury. Musa, who I thought was going to be better, went right after him. So as of yesterday, I don't know why he wasn't ready to come in. And I'm putting it out there right now. And I had this thought immediately when I saw this. You put Abdul Carter in Mike McFadden's spot. I don't care. That way you get him, Tibbs, Burns all in the field at the same time. If you got to rush him, blitz him through the A-gap, whatever you got to do, Put him in Carter's spot. I don't want to see anybody else there. Get your best players on the field. Don't treat him like a rookie. And my other complaint, well, you mentioned Dexter not being, making a difference in the game. A lot of that had to do with the fact, and you could see it clearly from where I was sitting, why he is not lined up over the center 100% of the time blows my mind. Blows my mind. You know how good of a nose tackle he is. No center in this league, because the one center that could handle him retired. And you don't have him over center 100% of the time, fireable offense. So again, it's not scheme all the time, it's snap count. The fact that you have Dexter Lawrence lined up in a 3 technique as opposed to lined up over the center is beyond me. Is beyond me.
Yeah. So that, and again, scheme comes into play. Truth. As the game started, did you feel like something was different? Because I went in, I'll say it for the third time. I was expecting a brand of football Truth where it was going to be a lot of smash mouth. I thought we were going to come out guns blazing. And what we did was we played a lot of prevent. We played a lot of spy from Carter. We didn't have the best players on the field. With that, I'm not buying into that. Musso's a nice player, but he was a 7th round draft pick for a reason. He is small. But Truth, like where was the smash mouth defense we were expecting? Like,
Yeah,
it looked soft.
Yeah, I mean, off there, Shawnee and Spartan and I, we talked about that. How we want to see smash mouth in your face football from this Giant team, and I'm not seeing it. I didn't see it in that game. A couple of plays, yeah, they looked okay, but last time I checked, football's a 60-minute game, not 1 minute here, another minute here, one play here. It was very disappointing. That's not a Giant team that I can, as a Giant fan, I don't know, since 1968, so that's a long time ago. I mean, it's not something I want to brag about, this Giant team. They don't have the tradition. They're not playing with the tradition that we all expected.
Well, I'm gonna say this. As Sean just alluded to the Kafka thing, I'm sorry. And if anybody's got to say any different, I don't care. Shane Bowen's a bust. I mean, the guy has no idea how to use his personnel at all. He is vanilla as can be, and let's not forget that that we had Carl Banks on, and Carl Banks was like, it's the same thing every single week. Like, he hands the card in, like, just do this. But coach, that's what we did last week. Yep, do the same thing. This dude has no idea how to win a football game.
Like, we talked about that in preseason. All of us talked about how we were worried about Bowen.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't care if it's one game. He should be coaching because his job's on the line. He should be throwing. What's the word? You throw the house at him.
Kitchen sink.
Yeah, kitchen sink. Like, I mean, dude. Like, Carter's not in every play. Why am I not? What, Dexter playing in the gap? Why?
Craig, there was in the third or fourth quarter, I forget which one it was, an important drive when Washington is driving down by the goal line. You don't have Tibbs, Burns, or Carter in the game at all. Those 3 guys were on the sideline in a crucial drive because you want to save guys to make sure they're fresh. What are we doing?
I'm telling you, everyone out there, I'm telling you, I don't care if you put it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I don't care. There's no way. And again, I'm sure that these guys were worried about getting fired. They didn't get fired. Maybe it was too late to find somebody, who knows how to coach defense. This guy sucks. I mean, literally, not one moment did I go, man, this guy wants to win. Not one moment did I go, you know what? This guy's gonna do something that's gonna get us back in the game. You could have tried a safety blitz, a corner blitz. You could have had Dexter in the 3 tech, not playing, in the gap. I mean, three technique. Hello, you see Musso is completely overmatched at every point in that game. My God, he was terrible. So what? You don't have, so then put Carter in the middle and let somebody else spy. And by the way, Sean, who needs a spy? We got enough pass rushers to get in the face of Daniels and put him into the turf.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't
That's
have an
on his
issue with
face.
him spying.
Too much though,
I
Sean.
don't-
Too much.
Yeah, maybe not. But here's what I'll say to that: if you're going to have him spy, then bring the pressure. They had him spy and didn't bring any pressure and allow Daniels to have a ton of time. That's my issue. Carter's the only guy on that defense that can stay with Daniels, and he showed with his sprinting ability. He made some things happen. So again, I don't have an issue with him spying. I have an issue with if you spy him and you don't bring pressure. You can't have a 3-man rush with a spy against
Yeah, but
Shane
not
Daniels.
not 1/3 of his snaps he was spying.
Well, yes, if you're going to play more snaps, no. But if he played more snaps, it doesn't look as bad, right? But he only played 35 snaps, so yes, it's going to look worse.
Snaps, dude. 35 snaps. What are we saving
That's
him for
fireable right there.
year?
Fireable offense right there. I keep saying that. I told you guys, if you remember on this show, I said year 2 of Bowen, I was going to be a lot more critical, and I am proving myself that I'm a man of my word. I'm a lot more critical.
We were all worried how he would handle Carter and even Alexander. How he's going.
He made it seem like they were going to have these guys on the field all the time. So you're saving them week 1. Here's what I think, and I know it's a league-wide issue too. These guys take the first 4 games as an extension of the preseason. And as Giants fans, we can't afford to do that. We want wins. And the rest of the league is doing the same thing because a lot of other teams, aside from the upper echelon, are doing the same thing and have the same issues. So these guys, like, you can't take that approach. Right now you can't. So I need to see something different. I need to see Carter in the field 80% of the time. He needs to play as many snaps as the top guy as on there. I don't care.
Especially now, you know that you like again. You're whether you like him or not. Like, all right, you're missing a 2-year starter from your team, so you gotta make up for it. You just can't go out and say we're gonna be okay. Next man up. You weren't good enough when you were at full strength.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's just really annoying. Where is the smash mouth defense? I thought that you were going to see safety blitzes from Holland. I thought you were going to see, a big hit over the middle. Like, everything about that defense just looks so soft. And I'm like, this is just terrible. Like, how do you have your 3 best defensive players off the field at one time?
Unbelievable. Now, I will say Adebo played well. He did well against Terry McLaurin. Didn't give up a lot, which was encouraging. Tibbs played well. Burns played well. You saw the aggression there. Carter played well. Listen, I've been saying this for a while, and I'm going to keep saying it. Our inside linebackers worry me. They worry me. I don't have faith in our inside linebackers. I don't care how many tackles they have. I watch what they do every week. I watch what they do. They do the same thing every time. On a run play, they just go in and try to blow up the block. That's it. It's ridiculous. Go in with your eyes up, take on the blocker, shed him, make the tackle.
Well, there's a little bit of an issue with, I think, is Okereke healthy, right? Because, and if the odd thing about Okereke, and I think we're all fans of Okereke, he starts off every season really slow, right?
Yep.
He started off slow in Wink, and then he came on strong. He started off really slow in Bowen, and then never really kicked in. And then, then we find out later on that he's hurt. Again, he's got, the experience you want and the leadership that you want. But, I don't know. Like we already said, like McFadden slides when Okereke gets hurt. McFadden wound up sliding over in the Okereke spot and playing better. So we just don't know what's going on with Okereke. Yeah, he had a lot of tackles, but again, not a lot of downhill tackles. So I don't know if it's the scheme, and it kind of feels like it's the scheme because again, he started a little slow with Wink, but he should have been a Pro Bowler that year. He had such a good year. So to me, it's got to be a scheme. It's got to be like taking these guys away from what they're naturally good at.
I think it's a coaching thing too. Not just I think it's on all levels where linebackers are now taught to blow up the block as opposed to take it on and try to make the tackle at the same point. So I think it's a little bit of everything there. The other complaint that I have is, how is Chauncey Golston only playing 11 snaps? You're telling me he's not better? Like, you can't put him in at defensive end for like Nacho or Robertson Harris or one of those other guys who are getting blown off the ball. Like, let's see what this guy can do. Like, make some adjustments. You sign a guy in the offseason and you're pretty high on him and you only play him 11 snaps. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. Well, again, I think we talked about it.
Yeah, especially they gave him 220 yards rushing on the ground. I mean, play somebody who can make a tackle, for God's sakes.
Yeah, like I don't get it. Like I said, I need to see something more week 2. I need to see that you've learned something. If nothing else, I need the players to have pride. What happened?
They better be nasty.
I can't put it all on the coaches. Like, players got to play too. Like, yes, coaches got to coach. They got to do the things. There's things that they didn't do to help the players. But at some point, you got to have pride as a player. Like, you can't say this is acceptable. Like, you should be so mad that when you come out against Dallas, we should see fire. Absolutely. Like, because there's not many players left from the years of losing. You have like a handful of players, a couple players, Dexter being one, who has known nothing but losing, minus the 1 year. You got new guys that unacceptable.
I hope the Giants have a miserable week this week in practice. They're pissed off and they come in and take it out on Dallas. That's what they got to be like.
Yeah, losing.
Yeah, I hope Dable works their asses off and just beats the shit out of them this week, so they are pissed off come Sunday in Dallas. That's what you got to do. No baby.
But you can't do that because of the collective bargaining agreement. Like, there's only so much you can do. That's the problem. I agree with you, but I think they're limited.
Yeah, I'm not saying guidelines, but no baby. It's not a country club. It's not a country club.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And get Andrew Thomas back on the field. Get him back on the field. How serious is his injury? Get him back on the field.
Listen,
it's a leg or foot. What is it? I don't even know what it is.
It's his foot, but his surgery was to remove a screw. It's a comfort level. It's not like he had a second surgery because of an injury. He had the screw removed.
And if they knew he wasn't going to be ready, they should have been prepared. If he should be ready, then I don't know what his problem is. But again, he's not playing enough football. So, I know they just they gave him a big contract, then they redid his contract to free up some money. Like, he's just, I don't know. I'm doubting the way, and then he wants to get back on the field. These guys all have to play football. Right. I mean, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, right? You got to get on the field and play football. There's, and Rob brings up this point that we've talked about a million times. Like, why don't we have Dexter and Burns and Carter and Thibodeau on the field, in a full out, stunt, just to let them know that we will do it. Like,
do you know how many?
Show it.
Do you guys know how many plays the 4 of them were on the field together on Sunday?
No,
I have to look it up. Do you know?
8 plays.
Out of
8
what,
plays
70?
in total with the 4 of them on the field at the same time. How is that possible?
It's a joke.
That's comical. It really is.
What it was in the reasoning was, it was intentional to have a rotation to keep guys fresh. Well, what good did that do you?
If you're not making plays, who cares about being fresh?
Yeah, go out there and win the game. Worry about late in the season or whatever else being fresh, like late in the game. Like, nah. That's what I'm saying. Like, again, scheme, no scheme, whatever. The fact, and again, that yes, they gave up 14 points in the first half, 7 points in the second half. So maybe there was a little adjustment made, but the snap count is the biggest issue that I have. You have the number 3 pick in the draft. Did the Lions with Aiden Hutchinson, did they handicap his snap count?
I didn't count, Sean. I didn't count, but it looked like he played a lot more than.
When Myles Garrett came into the league, I think he played a lot, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he played. He played.
TJ Watt, was he stifled his opening game? I don't think he was, if I remember correctly.
Here's your
Even
Like, it
stat.
makes zero sense.
either.
And you
I
talk about how much you love this guy and excited that you're on his team, and you only play him for 35 snaps. Like, holy cow! And he showed what he could do all offseason, and he showed in this game what he could do. So again, if he's not playing the majority of snaps on Sunday, then sign banners need to fly over the fire everybody. I don't
Yep.
care.
All right. So let me ask you this, since you brought up snap counts. Truth. There are only 3 players that played every defensive snap. Could you guess who those 3 are?
I'll say Debo, corner.
That's 1.
I'll say one of the safeties, probably Holland.
That's 2.
And who would be the third? Who would be the third, Shawnee?
Okereke.
No, but he is close. He's number 4.
Okay.
Who would be the third one?
They played how many snaps? Every snap?
Every snap.
Yeah, there were
How
7.
about Newman? How about Newman?
Yes, that's what it is. It's Newman,
Newman.
Holland, and Adebo. There were 70 snaps in the game. Those 3 played 70 snaps. Okereke played 68. So here's again.
How much did Tibio play?
Tibbs?
Yeah, Tibbs.
He was up there. He played a lot.
He had 52 snaps, which is 74%.
Well, that's minimum.
more-
That's what Carter should have had. Minimum 52 snaps.
And Tibbs had more snaps than Burns and Carter.
Oh, how much did Burns have?
Burns had
think
47 snaps, 67%.
Yep.
Carter had 38 snaps, which is 54%.
And Burns was dominating most of the. I mean, again, Tibbs was dominating too.
Could
Tibbs
he
did
have been
really well.
fatigued? Could he have been tired because it's the first game? Could have been.
Some of these guys did look a little tired. I will say it was pretty humid there, but they did look a little tired.
Come on, man.
I could
They're
see that in the
professional
stands, but
athletes. Come on, man.
So,
I
Hutchinson,
get it, but they were on the field a lot too.
Cole said Hutchinson had 45 defensive snaps the first game.
Yeah, well, that was first game back after a major injury.
Breaking his leg.
That's
Yeah.
right.
That's but even his rookie year, he wasn't limited with snaps. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but
Gino
Cole-
said that Burns sprained his ankle, had minor ankle injury. That's why he came off the field.
Okay.
So here's another bone I have to pick. They had Belton playing in the box. What are we doing? Like, I mean, Belton is a nice player. He's a ball hawking, safety. If you're gonna put someone in the box, you put Newman in the box. Like Belton's got
Holland.
Well, again, I like Newman's size and to play in the box. But sure, like nothing. Belton's not a box. Thanks, Cole. You took it right out of my mouth. Belton's not a box safety. Why is Belton in the game now? Again, I like Belton. I think Belton, needs more playing time to see if he can do what we need him to do. But the guy had, hang on.
I mean, he's not going to be able to cover a guy in the box. Holland, based on what he did in coverage, should have been in the box because if you have Newman and Belton back there, those are 2 ball hawking guys. Holland is not a ball hawking safety.
Belton had 17 snaps, 24%. And I'm just like, dude, why is this cat playing in the box? Again, I can go back and look at it, but it's not a box safety. It doesn't make any sense. Ryder said something about establishing rotation. Oh God, yeah.
We're screwed. If that's the rotation and that's how many snaps Carter's going to get, we're screwed. Like what kind of rotation are you establishing? I know they want to keep guys fresh.
He does that. He should not last the season.
I agree. I'll call for everybody's job. If that's what you're going to do, you're not going to draft the guy. Again, I get they got 17 games. I understand that to an extent, but you can give him more than 35 snaps and still have a rotation. Like that's just crazy. It's crazy. Sorry. He's the number 3 pick in the draft.
Yeah.
You get his ass on the field.
All right, well, let's move on to like the other thorn in my side because we got nothing but bad. Like we can't even find good things and fun things to talk about because nothing went well. So let's talk about the other, 800-pound gorilla in the room. Truth. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7, not 8. You got 8 plays, Truth, to get in the damn end zone. And we throw a tackle eligible play?
We talked about that.
I was embarrassed.
It's almost like you're saying, Washington, you're too nasty and mean. We can't go ahead, smash mouth you, so we're gonna try to trick you. That's how when I saw that, I said, what the hell are they doing?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's frustrating.
Truth, let's just say you want to run that. You're gonna run it with a rookie. It's his first NFL game.
I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know if this kid has great hands. It doesn't matter if he's a rookie or a veteran. That's not the way to go about it. You got 8 plays. There's no excuse not getting a touchdown where were they? What yard line were they on? Where were they when they
they were inside the 5. They were inside the 5.
Yeah. Just play one-on-one, best man wins, block, and just play the hard football like the old days. Don't be so cute.
I can remember time and time again Eli Manning getting the ball in the gun and throwing a wide receiver screen down the line to Plaxico Burress or Armani Toomer and them skating down the sideline. Is that harder to do in the end zone or close to the end zone? Yes, it is. But we don't even try anything. Scadaboo's got great hands. He might have better hands than some of our receivers. Why are we not getting him into a wheel route? Why are we not running quick slants to neighbors? We did it for 6 years with OBJ. Spread him out wide, one step, hit the kid on a slant, boom, we're in the end zone. I mean, how do you come up with running up the gut? And Tiki Barber said it best yesterday. There's nothing more that bothers him than plays that are just scripted incorrectly. Knowing the fact that play is not going to work because you just saw that defensive line own your defensive line, don't have the balls to go directly at them in the end zone. Like you got your ass kicked the entire game up front, and your reasoning is we need a touchdown. We're going to go mano a mano and run up the gut. I mean, it makes no sense at all.
And Craig, here's an interesting point. Shawnee mentioned it that when Bo came out and made himself eligible, Washington knew it. They were pointing, yelling. Don't you think Wilson, who's a veteran, shouldn't he audible and change the goddamn play?
Yeah.
Why can't he do that? Is he allowed to do that? Did they give him that comp blanche to do that?
I mean, I think they do. I think that was part of the deal why he came, because that was the big rumor in Pittsburgh that they took the audibling away from Wilson at the line of scrimmage, and he was like, "Yeah, no."
I will say, like, the one play, I think it was like I don't remember if it was the first half but there was one play where Darius Slayton was the drive where they got the 3 points when they're inside the 5-yard line. Darius Slayton. Well, no. They were inside the 5-yard line. Darius Slayton was there, and the red zone. Darius Slayton was wide open in the bottom left, but Russell Wilson was only looking to the right. Had he looked to the left, we have a touchdown because Slayton was wide open. Nobody was guarding him. And he did throw a couple passes behind the receivers in the red zone, in the end zone as well, which hurt. But still, the play calling was atrocious. It was atrocious in the red zone. So I agree with the audible, do something. But again, your first trip to the red zone, that's the – and again, I know in 2022, Andrew Thomas scored a touchdown in the red zone, doing it that way with Kafka calling plays. But that doesn't mean you can do it with a rookie and the very first time you're in the red zone. Like, come on. Like, it was predictable and it was stale. My father in the stands was knowing what was coming. Yeah. Like, it was ridiculous. Like, it just, I
was getting rubbed because, I'm as we alluded to, I was looking for, Dable or Kafka or Bowen, someone to pivot, someone surprise us with something, turn the page and give me something new. again, I know, we don't have these dynamic tight ends, but we got 3 of them in the on the roster, and we just don't throw them the ball because you can't. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, look, Theo's been a little bit of a disappointment. Doesn't mean that we shouldn't be trying to get him the ball, or Bellinger, or for I care that Manhurt's throwing. Do something. Double tight ends. Put him in a flood route. Run him in the seam. Like we did nothing, to the point where it was such a hard game to watch, because there was literally like the plays. They had 5 or 6 scripted plays. That's all they had, and they were just trying to hold on. They went into the game trying to not lose instead of trying to win.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. It's exactly what it felt like the whole game. I expected to see more deep passes. I mean, something, like anything to show some life. And as much as we criticize Jalen Hyatt, dude got 0 snaps. Like, throw him in a game just to run a deep route. Like, to run by, like,
Slade only had 1 target.
Yeah.
There is still 1 target.
How about the elephant in the room, guys? Evan Neal was a healthy scratch.
Yeah.
Yeah, what the? Darius Alexander was a healthy scratch. I get he's a rookie, but
that's a problem, though, man. That's a problem.
What are we doing?
Because you want to get your rookie some time. You want to have Neal where if something's not going right, you insert him and get some snaps. That's a problem. There's no way Alexander's that far behind everybody else.
No, unless they just didn't want to disclose he had an injury and he's not 100% from the ankle thing he had in the preseason. But still, like, come on. And again, Chauncey Golston, 11 snaps. Like, what are we doing? Like, listen, Nacho's a friend of the show, but Nacho's a great depth player. He's not a starter. And and he started the game. He got less snaps than Roy Robertson Harris, but in crucial times, you got the wrong people in. Like, it was just like they didn't care about winning the game. They just wanted to establish things for the season, and that's not what we want. That's not what we need. Like, this is not an extension of the preseason for the Giants. You don't win. Like, it's got to be better. It's got to be different this week. It's got to be. Or I'm calling for everybody.
You're right. They got to make adjustments. So they're just sabotaging their jobs. That's what they're doing.
Truth. How do the Giants beat Dallas? CeeDee Lamb didn't have a great week. They did put up a fight against the Eagles on the opening night last Thursday, but again, they don't look. Dallas doesn't look like world beaters, but they do have some dynamic players, and Dak can push the ball up the field. What do they have to do, Truth, to be competitive against Dallas?
They got to stop. They got to stop Dallas from scoring more than 10 points, and they got to score more than 10 points. The Giants. That's a hard thing to do right now. It really is. I have no confidence in the New York Giants right now, because I got to be honest with you. I thought Dallas offensively looked really good against Philadelphia.
Yep.
And at the Giants, I mean, they got to play lights out, their best defensive game to keep Dallas from getting enough points, because their offense cannot generate points. Giants offense, I'm worried about them.
I mean, we got to score 21 points to be in this game.
I think that's minimum.
If you can't score 21 points, it ain't gonna work. It's not gonna work.
You got to get the other guys involved offensively, because teams are just going to try and take away Neighbors. It was clear at one point they had him triple teamed.
That's why he was frustrated. He was getting triple teamed, and
but guess what? It worked though, because while he was getting doubled up, Wan'Dale Robinson was making plays, and then all of a sudden it just stopped.
Yeah, they got to run the ball. They got to move the ball. They got to sustain drives. They got to score points in a red zone. I mentioned that I mentioned that a month ago. If they don't get better in the red zone, if they don't stop the run defensively, we're going to have another top 5 pick. You know, it's as simple as that.
Yeah. Sean, how do they beat Dallas?
They got to come up. Well, they got to get after Dak. So that's one. They got to get after Dak, and they got to get pressure on him, and they got to have better play calling. That's the bottom line. You got to get your guys involved. You got to have better play calling. You got to have rhythm. You got to set something up. You got to see what they're doing off on one play and then call a play based on what they did off another play. Like, it's a chess match, and we're not playing chess. We're not even playing checkers at this point offensively. So let's be strategic in what we're doing.
And you know what? I'm taking like the Dallas loss. I'm not expecting them to win. What I am expecting them to do is put their foot in someone's ass and play football.
Play physical. Yeah. Make it a game. That's as simple as that. Make it a game. Play hard. Yeah. Give us 60 minutes, guys. That's what we
please. That's all I'm saying. All I want is the coach to say, I'm going to throw everything at this. And have a whole nother.
My job depends on it, which it does.
Yes, I want him to have a piece of paper called the "Oh shit" playlist. Okay, and like when things go bad, he pulls out the "Oh shit" playlist, and on there is a center screen pass to Scatterboo, and it's a wide receiver screen to Slayton, and it's a slant to Neighbors. And it's a double tight end, pass to the tight end on the seam. All the stuff that we need to try. Because if you lose but you try, I'm not as disappointed, right? Because Dallas probably has more talent than the Giants, but you can't win unless you actually try.
Hey, you could bet your bottom dollar that Dallas will be playing mean this week because they lost to Philly. They are not going to let the Giants walk into their stadium and beat them up. So they're going to be ready from the first snap.
And it's at MetLife, right?
No, I thought it was in Dallas, wasn't it?
In Dallas.
Is it? I thought it was 1-1. Okay, no.
Giants' first home game is Kansas City next week.
Okay.
We got 2 weeks. Sorry.
Wow. Yeah.
By the way, I give a shout out to Chris at Giant Topic for joining us last week. We'll have Chris back next week. We got Paul Dottino coming up. He's going to spend some time with us.
That should be fun.
What's that, Paul? I mean, what's that?
I said that should be fun. That should be fun with Paul Dottino.
Yeah, we thank Spartan for hanging out with us for a couple minutes there. He had to jump. So we got a couple things coming up for you guys. We'll be back on Monday at normal time, 7:30. Appreciate all you guys coming by and hanging out. Good luck for all you fantasy football players that register to play in the Ballers League with Spartan Mike. That should be a lot of fun. I don't know, guys. Like, I can't see this continuing because there's no way Dable wants to lose his job and Shane doesn't want to lose his job. So something's definitely got to change, and it's got to change rapidly because the schedule is just too difficult.
Yep. That's what you got to hope for.
Okay, so Truth, they got Kansas City after this. If they go 0-3, does Dart start week 4?
Well, I did mention a while ago that the media and the fans will dictate to the ownership and force their hand. And I think they keep losing. Yes, he's going to play sooner than what they wanted. I'm not going to say he'll play at their own 3. I don't know, but he is going to play a lot sooner than what we all thought he would and what Dable thought he would and Shane thought, because they're going to be forced to do it by the ownership. That's how I see it.
Yeah, I'm looking at Rob's comment here. Mind-boggling, our 5 best rushers can be our base defense in a big nickel. No reason for us to be talking about snaps. Yeah. It's a great point, Rob. It's a great point. We're all scratching our head over here. Sean, let's close the show up with your opinion. If they lose against Kansas City, is Dart coming in, week 4?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they do. You got national media calling for it. Baldinger was calling for it. John Gruden was calling for it. So it would not surprise me if they go 0-3. And depending on how Russ looks as we're 0-3, it wouldn't surprise me if he comes in. I know they have a plan for him, and his development is very important. But the one thing that he's going to bring is he's going to bring that winner mentality. And I do like that. Not saying Russ doesn't have it, but Dart's got a little more edge to him at this point. So at 0-3, it would not surprise me if he comes in week 4.
Milan's got an interesting take. Milan, we love you, West Coast. Only reason why I don't agree with this is that I don't think the ownership thinks this is a bad project because of what who they drafted, the quality of player that they drafted. And I just don't think this is considered a bad project this year. Like the offensive line's not there yet, but the defense is dramatically more talented. It's the defensive coordinator that's not packaging it right. It's not putting them in the best spot available. So I don't think anybody thinks it's a bad project. I think that Dable definitely wants to get Dart on the field. He's definitely trying to let him learn and grow. Because if he gets hurt, then again you're right back to square one. But I don't know, guys. I don't know if game 4, but if it is going to be a rough, bumpy year, he's going to get time by week 10.
He's going to play a lot earlier than we all thought. We all thought that he'll be sitting the whole year. But again, the media, like Sean says, they're all calling for it now. The fan base, it's going to force the ownership's hand. They're going to play him sooner than what we all thought.
And especially with J.J. McCarthy playing as well as he did last night, too.
And Rodgers.
Granted, McCarthy stayed a whole year, but he was injured, so that plays a role, too. So there is that other side of, McCarthy came in and played well because he didn't play his entire rookie year. So
but Rodgers is old and washed, and he threw 4 touchdowns. Like Russ has got to find a way to get it done. The play calling has to be better where there's a safety valve for Russ. Russ has got to get out of the pocket and move around. So Russ may be showing how old he is real fast, which will be shocking, but there are people out there that hate Russ and think that he's done. And he might be. I don't know if anybody really knows, but he didn't show anything dynamic at all on Sunday.
I wonder if he didn't believe in the play calling. And maybe, if you don't believe in what's being called, again, they're professionals, but I wonder if that played a role. Like, he's like, you're calling stuff that is not to my strengths. Like, what are you doing? Like, maybe. I'm reaching. I need something.
Well, Giants lose to the Redskins away. They got Dallas away and then Kansas City at home. So we will be back next Monday. I'm pretty sure I got Paul Dottino coming in. Chris from the Giant Topic may stop by there. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Bang. And we'll I'm a little bit crazy, with my regular full-time gig. So I'll make sure that we're back and ready to rock next Monday, and we will see you guys then. In the meantime, follow, like, subscribe. It all makes a difference for us. And like I said, even to the fact that I'm looking for a new sponsor because my sponsor fell through for a super cool project that I've got sitting around in the back, Sean knows about it. We got this project that's just sitting on a shelf. So if you know anybody in the region that wants to talk some shop, let me know. We can always be pimping out products, and help push the needle for some folks. Appreciate you guys. Didn't realize we were going to be on. Yeah, I know, Mark. It was a promise I made to Sean that we would come on Tuesday, and I didn't want to let the guy down. Yesterday I ran it up, but we really chopped it up. What's up, Ryan? What's going on, buddy? And we're going to bring Ryan in, too, to do a little work with us, too. So say hi to everybody. Say hi to Ryan. Make sure you go to check out Ryan's page. Follow him because Ryan was going to be in training to be the next Giants rush producer. So we've got that coming up too. So make sure you check out Ryan. He's going to help us, hang out in the back and do stuff like this. And maybe stuff like this.
Glad you could. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, exactly. We'll be drafting a left tackle. All right, gentlemen. What I can tell you is I'm going to look for something new because we're going to go out with a bang. So I'm looking for graffiti. Peace.